Welcome, everyone, to Simply Living Wellness, where you'll learn how to love yourself, heal yourself, and how to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Today, I'm so excited. We're here to talk with my dear friend and coach, Anna-thea. Hello, Anna-thea.
Hi, Donna. It's so wonderful to be here with you.
Yay, I'm very excited. So, Anna-thea is a women's sensuality and sexuality educator who helps women become more sensually alive. She has been educating and inspiring and empowering women for over 17 years. She is an author and educator dedicated to helping you live more confidently and to speak authentically from your heart. She wants to help you discover how beautiful your body is no matter what age, shape, or size, and how sacred your sexuality is. She teaches you how to take care of yourself emotionally, how to develop better communication in your relationships, how to experience more pleasure in your life, and how to have a deeper understanding of your sexuality. Her exclusive programs will inspire you and give you new perspectives on what it means to be a woman in our society today. So welcome, Anna-thea. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh gosh, it's just such an honor. We're going to have some fun in what we're going to talk about in this sacred time together, you and me. I love it.
Very exciting. Anna-thea, let's just get started with a little bit about your background. Who are you? How did you get to be a women's sensuality and sexuality educator? And what does that mean, really?
Oh my gosh, where do I begin with that? You know, it's so funny when people ask me that, you know, how did I get into this? This is the right answer, but I say pain, pure, unadulterated emotional pain from love relationship, love relationships. And really it was my deep desire to really find, I have a lot of Libra in my chart. And what that basically means is I want conscious equal partnership. I want fairness. I want balance. I want connection. I want it to be about me and the other in perfect balance and harmony. I have all these beautiful euphoric ideas about what relationship should be. And so it's just really my deep desire to have that harmony. And so through the journey of being in love relationships and having a tremendous amount of loss, betrayal, all the things that women have had to put up with, pornography and how it's affected the relationship, all of these things I've always then just sought. It has to be better. There has to be a better way. And through that, I actually took a 2-year spiritual sexual education certification program back in 2005. And that totally transformed my life. I mean, I still use tools today and teach tools today that I learned back in 2005 to 2007.
And so as a women's sensuality and sexuality educator, what do you do with, how does that work exactly?
I really give women a new vision, because in that 2-year certification, I saw a new way to see my body. At the time, I went into that program with a lot of body image issues, food issues, and I really learned that feeling pleasure in your body is the perfect antidote for all the problems that women are experiencing in intimacy, relationship with their body, everything, sexual issues. And so it's really about learning how to reclaim our bodies as women. So really changing a woman's point of view, because we live in a very masculine, adaptive. Women are very masculine, adaptive in their sexual expression. And really teaching women to say, wait a minute, okay, men, yes, that's all good, but really teaching women, well, what is your sexuality? So I teach women about, and what I teach is there's feminine forms of sexuality and masculine forms of sexuality. Mm-hmm. And masculine forms of sexuality are like going for the O, trying to make something happen. But feminine forms of sexuality are really creating a more nurturing, loving, open space to just experience what's there, creating a safe space for yourself and knowing how to create that, having sexual experiences and knowing how to set healthy boundaries to create sexual experiences that include things like respect, honor, patience, nurturing, understanding. What a concept, right?
What a concept. Yeah. So,
and and freeing ourselves from relationships or even sexual relationships, especially in marriage, that are all about sexual duty or being a good wife. So it's really teaching women the beauty of what they are actually holding, and they are the essence and the holder of the divine feminine in their physical female body, and really helping women to understand that.
So that explains why you focus on women, and it's from your own personal story, but also this divine feminine energy that we hold in our bodies, and men have that too.
They do, yep.
But I love that you focus on women primarily. So can you tell me, women's empowerment is such a term that's thrown around a lot, means different things to different people. So what does it mean to you then, based on here what you teach, and what do you consider women's empowerment? You mentioned one thing about the boundaries, and I think that's really, really important, but I'm sure there's other aspects also.
Oh my gosh. And that, that's such a big question, because women's empowerment, okay, what is women, that's being strong. That's all masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And remember that in the 80s, I was one of the 80s women of, with the shoulder pads, the
Oh,
suits
yep.
with the shoulder pads,
I was
wearing
too.
our armor and being successful in the world. We needed to be like men. So this new path is finding strength in your softer side, finding strength in your receptive side, finding strength in going with the flow and trusting in the process. And this is what the feminine or the female, this is what feminine sexuality responds to, but this is also what the female body responds to. And then we start feeling more at home in our bodies.
Wow, that's such an interesting way to look at it, because even the whole feminist movement can often be so masculine, just in the way, feminists get out there. And like I was a classic example of the whole pro-choice movement. When I was in college, that was really big and important, and it was fabulous. But it was often came with this intense energy and yelling out chants, and so the whole feminist movement sometimes has that masculine energy as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I love the way you phrase that about it's strengthening the softer side of divine feminine energy.
Well, I always say, we're the innies. Anatomically, we're the innies. Men are the outies. And so what is the innie? The innie is the receptive, the opening, the being open. But being open doesn't mean being stomped on. Being open in your strength and knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and creating your own self-monitoring system, or even, changing the way you live with yourself and your body and your words, so that you really do attract a higher vibration. That's what I really help women with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Excellent.
and that may sound really hooty guru, but it really is a matter of changing your energetics. Like you said, the feminist movement, it served its purpose, but it was a very masculine, very, forceful energy. And we needed to do that. And now what I'm wanting to really birth is having women understand that. I just thought about this yesterday, Donna, is about us now really holding space and holding this beautiful space for men. It's an invitation to men. It's like, I will no longer participate in these activities that are belittling to me, that are demeaning to me, that are unconscious, and not even as if though they're in a malicious way. It's just unconscious behavior. And so now it's really becoming aware of that as a woman, and just starting to say, I no longer participate. I will not be in a relationship that is not healthy for me. I'd rather be just in a relationship with myself. And so I realized this just yesterday. It's like, we're not fighting anymore. We're just stepping away from what we no longer want to participate in. And if that means being single for a good long time, that's okay. We're not hating men. We're holding space and creating this beautiful place we're creating an invitation. We love you. We want you. but we're creating this opening for you to step into this higher space of being with us, which includes things like respect, equal mattering, compassion, empathy. Women have this great ability for empathy, but we've been stomped on. And so we, creating this space now for men to, if they don't show empathy, we don't really want to engage.
I love that. I never would have made that connection. Now, you talk about holding space all the time in your classes. I've taken, 2 of your classes now, and I'm about to take the communication one, which I'm so excited about. And I'd love to talk about that in another episode, and focus maybe on the Mastering Your Emotions class today. I took that class. I loved it. It's all about setting the boundaries and speaking our truth and holding that space. And in the class, I know, we hold space for each other. And I love that. It really is powerful. And so to take that one step further and to say we're holding space for men by setting our boundaries and living truthfully and living authentically, that is a really cool connection. I never would have come up with that myself.
Isn't that beautiful? It's like,
yes,
we love you. We want you to be here with us in this space, in this new, more loving space. And our arms are open, our hearts are open. Come on in, on an energetic level. So, yeah.
Beautiful. So let's talk about mastering your emotions a little bit, and I'll share with our listeners what one of the big takeaways that I got from that class was that we're just taught to not feel our feelings. So good or bad, what I really learned in that class is how you give us the tools of how to feel our feelings. So, I'm an extremely sensitive person. I'm a Pisces. I'm just very sensitive, and I tend to take on other people's emotions and feelings, and then that gets me all messed up, and then I just have been raised and taught to just stuff those feelings and not really move through them. So that was one of the things I loved about that class, and really learned, how to feel my feelings. So we're really good about feeling good feelings in our society.
Right.
But when it comes to the not so friendly or not so pleasant feelings, we have a much harder time with that. And I think that's why addictions is so prevalent, because it sure is easy, myself included, to go have a glass of wine and all of a sudden just, those feelings vanish, and I never really get to feel them then. And that's the problem, is that we don't feel through them. So talk a little bit about that and how you teach, women to be with your feelings.
Okay. That is probably one of the single most powerful things you can do as a woman, is not run from your feelings. And like you said, they eventually go away. It's like a wave, but they get seated deeper, and they cause what I call the 3Ds: disease, drama, and depression. And ultimately you can add disaster to that as well. But when you learn how to feel your feelings, then you really are tapping into a source of wisdom and aliveness, sensual aliveness. Because what you were saying is we all want to feel happy. We actually, our society is all set up for us not to feel our feelings. Our society is all set up for us to numb our feelings, overeating, over drinking, over shopping, over TV watching, whatever it is for the individual, overworking even.
Yeah, exactly.
None of us are slowing down. It's the great American way. Keep busy, don't feel, But excuse me, my throat. But if we look at the feelings, I like to categorize them. In teaching women how to feel their feelings, I use labels. I use a structure so that they can actually put form to something that's very feminine, and feelings are very feminine. Emotions are very feminine. So I teach sad, mad, glad, fear, numb, and shame. And so then each one of these types of feelings, there's 6 of them. I categorize them into 6, and you can categorize them different ways. These are the ones that I've found very, very helpful. Sad, mad, glad, fear, numb, shame. Each one has their own characteristic. And as you start understanding the different types of feelings and how they're actually feeling in your body, they become not as scary. It's still a very challenging thing to stop and feel your feelings, but as you start doing this, then what you can do is you can understand what's underneath the feeling, what's causing the feeling. And that's where the true gold is. But let me back up here. Out of these 6 feelings, there's only one that's a good one. The rest are uncomfortable feelings. So no wonder we don't want to feel our feelings. You know, like I said, our whole society is set up for us not to feel our feelings. But that's truly where the gold is. So if we can, you know, instead of reaching for that second or third glass of wine or that piece of pizza or whatever it is for you, over shopping, overeating, instead say, oh, wait a minute. You know, and I teach the 4 N's, which is noted. I don't want to overload the listeners, but it's a 4N process that actually allows you to feel these uncomfortable emotions in a productive way. So the hardest thing to do is just to stop and notice, like, oh, I'm reaching for that piece of pizza because I'm having an uncomfortable feeling.
I've been doing that since I've taken your class. So one of my big things is, you know, working in the office, and there's all kinds of goodies and snacks they keep in there, and I know that I don't feel as good when I eat those things. It's like, but yet sometimes it's not enough, you know, to feel that yucky feeling after I come off of a sugar high, for example. But, you know, I'll be sitting there, and so now I use those 4 N's when I feel like going into the kitchen and grabbing a frozen little Snicker bar, whatever it is they have in there, too much. But I really use that tool, and it's very helpful just to sit with my feelings, try to notice what it is that's uncomfortable, that's driving me to go for that piece of candy. It really, really does help.
Yeah, I mean, and the 4 N's, I've gotten such good feedback from women of how it has really transformed their life. And I'll tell you, for me personally, I had suffered from a lot of obsessive compulsive behaviors. You know, overeating, over drinking. At one point in my life, I was even bulimic. And when I learned how to feel my feelings, this is the core of it. Learning how to feel your feelings will free you from obsessive compulsive addictive behavior. Period. End of sentence.
Wow. How
so
powerful.
Beautiful. I know.
Just think of, you know, all those programs and books and diet books and all those things that really aren't needed. And, you know, and the reason there are so many is because they don't work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, why would there be such a market for it? If you bought one diet book and it worked, then you wouldn't need to buy 20 more, right?
Exactly.
But there are thousands available, so there must be something missing, and there is. And so I'm just so excited that you're out there, Anna-thea, teaching these classes, impacting women's lives, you know, helping women transform. I'm a perfect example of that. I just so grateful to have you in my life, and I encourage our listeners to check out the website where this podcast is accessible on simplylivingwellness.com, and you can get a link to learn more about Anna-thea's classes. I highly recommend them. Like I said, I've taken the Mastering Your Emotions class. I've taken the Manifesting More Pleasure, and I'm about to take your communication class. So excited for that, and I look forward to bringing you back on, Anna-thea, to talk more about the communications class, because that too is just golden, and more people need to hear that. More women need to hear that teaching that you offer. So any last words before we wrap up here, because we are going to be out of time?
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, there is a better life for the women that are struggling with intimacy issues, body image issues, relationship issues,
compulsive disorders.
Yeah, all of these things. All you need to do is step into loving yourself on a deeper level. And I really teach the art of intimacy and self-love. And so there's lots of free tools on my website, and, you know, feel free to do that, get to know me, and I'd love to see you in my sacred Zoom room.
Yay! And your
Yay.
book, that's exactly the title of
Oh,
your book, Empowering Women by Loving Your Body, isn't it?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
empower yourself by loving your body. The Woman's Guide to Reclaiming Yourself as Sacred. And you can find that on Amazon.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Anna-thea, for being our guest today. And I look forward to bringing you back on to Simply Living Wellness and talk about more of what you have to offer. So thank you so much and have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you.